Hey, Dream Drivers, welcome to episode 213 of the Dreams and Drive podcast. And today, this episode is all about how to motivate yourself when you're feeling unmotivated. I feel like this is a sentiment that a lot of us share sometimes. So I want to show you guys some of my tips and strategies and tricks that I use to get myself out of that unmotivated mindset and to really get myself into a creative, inspired, and just productive flow of being. All right. But first is first, make sure you're following us on social. We are Dreams and Drive across the board on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you find this episode to be extremely helpful or just encouraging to you in some way, please share with your own networks. I love especially when you're sharing on Instagram stories and then you're tagging us, and you can also share across any of the other platforms as well. And make sure you're using the hashtag Dreams and Drive so that I can find you and repost and engage with what you guys are talking about. I also want to remind you guys, if you did not enter last week's giveaway with Miss Jessie's, we spoke with Miko Branch, who is the CEO and co-founder, and we are going to be giving away one of Miss Jessie's famous products, curly pudding. I have extended that contest, so if you want to enter to win a curly pudding from Miss Jessie's, just go to dreamsanddrive.com/win. That's dreamsanddrive.com/win. And one more thing, I also want to remind you all that we are still doing our carpool session. So if you are not on our newsletter, you probably didn't know about this, but I want to hear from you, Dream Drivers. I want to get feedback from the show. I want to learn more about the challenges you're facing along your own dream driving journeys. So I opened up these 20-minute sessions where you guys can sign up for a chance to talk to me. I'm going to be closing these slots very soon. So if you want to sign up for a carpool session with me, just go to dreamsanddrive.com/carpool. That's dreamsanddrive.com/carpool. I'm closing that out this week. So please sign up before the slots run out. And before we get into the meat of the episode, I want to also say, I was so busy this week, and then I looked at the date and I realized, wow, it's been officially 1 year since I quit my job. This year I have learned so much about myself, about my potential, about my limitations, my weaknesses. There's just been the world in general, right? There's been so much that I've learned. So I'm thinking maybe I should do some kind of recap episode. If you guys think that's a good idea, please send me an email, hit me up on Instagram or something. I want to know what you guys want to know about what I've learned over this past year. So definitely reach out. So let's get to this topic, right? The idea of being unmotivated and how do you motivate yourself? First of all, I think that being unmotivated is a natural thing. We really talk about this a lot, but in order to get things done, in order to feel inspired, sometimes you really have to discipline yourself, and a lot of that comes with consistent discipline, consistency overall. So number one, if you're feeling unmotivated, don't be hard on yourself. There are so many other people who are feeling the way you're feeling. So know that you're not alone. But also remember, it's not going to be a state that you have to succumb to forever. It's something that you will probably feel again at some point, but it's also something that you can work through. So I'm going to share with you some of my own tips and strategies, things that I use in my life. Some of these might work for you, some of them might not, but definitely use them as inspiration. Please get a pen and paper and let's dive in. So number one, I think that you have to actively seek out and actively find motivating triggers or things that can motivate you, right? I know that sounds very obvious, but let me give you some examples. So let's say you're on Instagram, right? Are you following motivational accounts, whether that's videos, whether that's fitness, whether that's whatever you want to do, whatever your goal is or your vision for your life? Make sure you have some sort of virtual vision board or vision board in general. You need to have this daily reminder, something that you're actively going to get triggers. If you have a vision board in your house or in your room or whatever, that may be looking at this wall of things that you want to accomplish and seeing that and visually being stimulated. And that visual stimulation can lead to a physical stimulation or emotional stimulation, something, but you have to actively seek these things out and get that vision board inspiration from that. I'm telling you, it really works. If you have something, if you're on Instagram, if you follow some accounts, it might even be the Dreams and Drive social media page, right? People love those quotes that I post in the mornings. That can be something that you can turn to. I personally love to screenshot things that are motivating. I have my screenshot folders. Sometimes when I'm feeling really down or unmotivated, I'll go through it and I will just be triggered by things that I've seen in the past. It might even be my own accomplishments. I think keeping a record board of things that you have accomplished can really be positively triggering to you when you might be feeling down. So for example, let's say I might be feeling down. I look back at that video I did on the Jimmy Fallon show, and I met Chadwick Boseman, and I saw me wearing my Dreams and Drive sweatshirt. That is really motivating to me, because it's like, wow, you never know how far you'll come. Because I remember back in 2016 when I started Dreams and Drive, who would have known that would have led me to primetime TV, meeting one of the biggest stars of the 21st centuries in terms of movies and all that stuff. Like, you never know. So it's really important that you have these visual triggers. I also love reading. You have to be active in the seeking out of whatever the feeling is that you want. All right. So number 2, alongside that, is you have to make that part of your routine. I think sometimes we think that feeling motivated is something that comes to us. No. Maybe it's important to schedule every day. Okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes reading something new, seeking out new knowledge, surfing the internet, letting my brain run free, looking at things that are motivating, visualizing, meditating, affirming, looking at my vision board and planning new things. Like, that has to be part of your routine. So number 1 is having it, but then number 2 is making it part of your routine. And I think that's very positive, because then let's say you're on social media, you're on it for a purpose, because sometimes you can be on social media and you're just mindlessly scrolling. But if you're scrolling with intention on an account that's motivating to you, or if you're scrolling with intention through your photos and getting inspired by things that you worked on in the past, whatever, that is how you get yourself from unmotivated to motivated, all right? Number 3, guys, is always remember your why. You know, it's funny when I talk to guests on the show, a lot of the times I'll ask at the end is, what are you doing this for? What does legacy mean to you? And a lot of times people say, I'm doing it for my kids, or I'm doing it because I want to give them a life that I never had, or I really believe in the mission of my company. Whatever it is, when you're feeling unmotivated, when you feel like you have no reason to do anything, you have to remember why you started in the first place. And that can be very, very triggering and very, very action inspiring. So for example, for myself, sometimes it's like when I'm here thinking about, why am I doing Dreams and Drive? Or I just don't feel like doing anything. I'll think about the times where I wish I could do Dreams and Drive full time, when I was at my full-time job and I was just dreaming of the day that I had more energy. And I think about the little Rana who wrote in her notebook that, she wanted to be a mogul. She wanted to be an entrepreneur. She wanted to be a talk show host. She wanted to be a designer, all these things. And I'm thinking about, I don't ever want to let that person down. Sometimes regret is worse than failure. So you have to remind yourself of your why, so you can always remember that you're doing it for a reason. And when you remember that you're doing it for a reason, at least I personally think that can help you get out of that rut and really inspire that mindset shift. Number 4, invest and check your circle. You really have to think about, what are you letting into you? Who are you letting into you? Those are 2 important things, who and what. So are there dream killers in your life? Are there people who are toxic? Are there people who are draining your energy? You have to make the decision and figure out, maybe, they might be loved ones, but maybe there's a time and a place for them. And you have to really, really be intentional about who you let into your inner circle. Because I'm telling you, when you have people who are draining, when you have people who are toxic, it's going to really, really cut into your mental energy and your mental capacity. But imagine on the flip side, if you had dream drivers in your circle, if you had people who are encouraging and supporting you, they're going to uplift, and they're going to be that fuel that you need when you feel your own running low. They're going to be the fuel that you need when you feel your own fuel running low. And it's so important that you invest and you constantly groom your circle. So if you're constantly feeling unmotivated, if you're constantly feeling drained, then you might have to think about who you have around you. But at the same time, you also have to think about, what do you have around you? What are the external triggers? I was reading Marie Kondo's book about tidying up and how your space is really important. Is your space very cluttered? I always remember one of my friends told me, your space is a reflection of your mind. So if your space is dirty, if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe you need to take some time to declutter your working environment, your living environment. Are you watching things that are constantly either making you feel bad about yourself? They might be traumatic triggers. They might be very violent, and that stuff is just playing. But you might also be listening to sad things that might be, or watching very sad things at the wrong time. I think it's really important that you pay attention to everything that you're ingesting and being very, very intentional. I'm going to keep saying that word today, being very intentional about what you're letting into you, because food is fuel, and food are the people that are around you. Your food is the things that you're letting into your life. So constantly just be aware of everything that you're investing in. Check your inner circle, check anything, and just ask yourself, is this something that's encouraging me and that's bringing me to the place that I want to be? And I'm telling you, sometimes if you check certain things, even food, some food can just not be stimulating. If it's a lot of sugar, make sure you're drinking a lot of water, limit the junk food. That stuff can really play into your biological makeup and how your body's affected. So please, 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 guys, pay attention to all of that stuff. Number 5 is make sure you have an internal tune-up. I think a lot of times we're not checking in with ourselves enough. That self-care is very important, and that self-love is important, because if you have that self-love, that self-care is going to be crucial. Like, even if you guys are hearing this live or the first day being released, I'm a day late with this episode because I just had this overwhelming gut feeling to slow down. Normally on Sunday nights, I'm sometimes having a mad dash to get the episode uploaded, and I decided to go to the beach with my friends. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take this day off, and I did not worry about it. We need those times sometimes. I think when we're not in tune with our body and our mind and our feelings, that can be why we just sometimes don't have that desire to do anything at all. I'm a really big proponent of talking to people. You know, I'm always pushing Therapy for Black Girls, Dr. Joy, and her platform. It's okay to talk to somebody. Sometimes there are just a lot of things going on that we cannot deal with on our own. You might even have health issues that are really playing into how you're feeling and your ability to really do a lot of things. So make sure you take that time for yourself to get yourself checked out, to talk to somebody if you feel like talking to somebody, because you really want to make sure you're okay physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that good stuff. Even financially, sometimes being in a financial rut could really play with your ability to feel motivated and to feel inspired. So make sure you get that tune-up, guys. Along with that, and I put this in a separate category, number 6 is working out. Now, I don't think everyone has to be a fitness guru, but I definitely think you should take some time to be active. It's really important. When you work out, there are certain hormones that are released into your bodies: endorphins, estrogen, serotonin, dopamine. That dopamine is that happy feeling that you feel that's kind of like that high after you work out. And that stuff is very good because it really makes you feel like you can do and accomplish a lot. I know I love my morning walks. I love my little 10-minute jump rope exercises. I'm not a crazy workout person, but I like to just keep a little bit of scheduled time to be active because it's just good for your body chemistry. And I also find that sticking to some kind of routine and showing up for myself, whether I say, hey, I'm going to work out 3 days a week, also just makes me feel confident, and it makes me realize that I said I was going to do something and I did it. And that's also tricking your brain into feeling like a winner. And think about it, right? Usain Bolt, when he won that gold medal for the 100-meter dash, I think it was 10 years ago when he broke the world record. After that race, do you feel like he was like, I can't do anything? He was like, I can take over the world. So sometimes you have to design into your everyday life ways that you can win. Even if you say, hey, you have a to-do list and you say, all right, there's 3 things on my list today that I need to do. Just making the list and doing those 3 things, checking those 3 things off are going to make yourself feel like a winner. So you have to kind of design these little hacks into your life to help keep you on point and to help keep you inspired or committed to the marathon, committed to the sprint, committed to the journey. Now, number 7, I also want to separate this, and I think it's very important too, is logging out of things, logging out of screens, getting into nature, getting into the pure essence of who we are, which is the earth. I think our screens are killing us literally. They're killing our imagination. They're killing our ability to think outside of these 3D digital walls. Get out of that. Log out. Do something physical. Take a walk. Just get away from your screen for a while. Sometimes these screens can take us from having real interactions with people. Go out and talk to people. Go out and have a conversation. I mean, you kind of need your phone to call people, but maybe go meet a friend. Go eat a meal. Do something that has nothing to do with a computer, a screen, or technology. And I really think that can help us get motivated. We sometimes forget how awesome we are as humans, our abilities to create, our abilities to think, our abilities to connect. So we need to design that into our time and also prioritize that in our day-to-day lives as well. Here is another one that I want to share with you, and this is the last thing on my list, is to keep a folder of your accolades and accomplishments and compliments that people have given you or things that you're proud about yourself. I also, my screenshot folders, I keep screenshots that people have sent me about the podcast, about my own work. Because when I'm feeling down, I'll go to that and remember that there's somebody out there who's being impacted by what I'm doing and the platform that Dreams and Drive is. And a lot of times we forget that there's somebody out there who is looking up to you. There's somebody out there who thinks you're awesome. So at that time when you're feeling down, you just need a reminder. You really just need a reminder. So I would always say to people, make sure you're keeping a list of everything that you're accomplishing. Make sure you're keeping reminders of what people say to you. And I grew up in a household where sometimes I felt like doing that made me vain, but it really is not a vain activity. It really is something that's good for your own self-health. And it's even funny because I'm gonna go to our reviews now for Dreams and Drive, and just even having these reviews and reading them is a reminder for me. And to be honest, it took me a little while to get to this episode because I was feeling unmotivated to do it. But I checked the reviews for the podcast, and that was the real impetus for me to get behind this mic and to record this episode. So I want to read with you the reviews that we've gotten in the month of August, and I'm just so appreciative for them. Remember, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, you can always leave a rating and review. All you have to do is search Dreams and Drive and then click ratings and review, write a review. So we're going to read these, and I love y'all. I love the feedback that you've given the show. This first one is from JYJ29, and it says, great interviewer. I enjoyed how in-depth you are with your interviews and dissecting the answers. It's a great insight. Lux Kia interview really resonated with me because I can relate to her journey on a mental and mindset standpoint. Love. Thank you so much. Here's one coming from Transar, a star on the rise. Excellent podcast, Rana. I found you today and subscribed on YouTube as well. Keep it up and don't give up. Thank you so much. Like, imagine reading that and feeling down, guys, and reading that and knowing that somebody is out there being impacted by the show. So that's why sometimes you have to design feedback into your everyday life. I love asking questions. I love just knowing and getting the pulse of the community. That stuff is a hack that has really helped me, is designing ways for people to leave you positive feedback, because we all need that. We all need that positive re-encouragement. We all need that push. So sometimes you have to literally design that push into your life. And here's the last one, and this one really means a lot to me. It's a bit long, but I'm going to read it in its entirety. And it says, truly inspirational and motivational. I have become a faithful listener of the Dreams and Drive podcast. I anticipate new episodes and often look for them when I miss the alerts on my iPhone. While I have subscribed to several podcasts and listens to others sporadically based on the guest or subject matter, I don't recall skipping any episodes of Dreams and Drive since I've become a listener. I find value in every episode. I think Rana does a great job securing interviews with thought leaders who are truly inspirational and motivational. That speaks to Rana's reputation out in these podcasting streets. This is coming from Rickland Woods, by the way. Thank you, guys. Oh, I gotta keep going. What I enjoy most about is Rana's self-proclaimed storytelling ability. Not only is she a good storyteller, she's amazing at getting others to authentically tell their stories. Oftentimes, as I'm listening to a guest, I have questions or silently hope they elaborate, and before I know it, Rana is asking the very question that I have, or ask the guest to expound or explain in more detail. And I'm like, thank you, Rana. I want to know that too. I'll be wanting to know. That's why I ask it. My absolute favorite part of each episode is when Rana asks the guest to provide the 3 tools that they would recommend that all entrepreneurs have in their toolkit. The gems they share are priceless. Wishing Rana much success as she continues her mission to share her guests' personal dream driving journeys or dream driving stories and their keys to success. I really appreciate that because there are a lot of times, and the reason why I said if you're feeling unmotivated, please listen to this podcast is because you're not alone. And this journey is tough, and you need to have that feedback. You need to feel like there's somebody out there who's being impacted by what you're doing, but you also have to have a really big confidence and knowing that what you're doing matters and that your voice matters and your story matters. And when you become secure in that part of your journey and that part of yourself, then unlocking that ability to be motivated will be a little bit easier. Now, it's not always going to be really easy, and sometimes it's going to be tough to stay motivated. You can get motivated, but it may be very tough to stay motivated. So I think sometimes you also have to act and to know that you may have to do things even when you're not motivated to do them. That's key as well. We aren't always operating in our optimal states. Sometimes we're operating when we just don't feel good or when we're in these weird moods, but that's part of being human. So I don't want to make you guys feel like in order to get anything done, you have to be this super high energy and super clear. No, like sometimes there will be moments of fog where you'll have to navigate through that, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. And you just have to be persistent and consistent in your dream driving journey and what it is that you're trying to build, guys. That's the biggest thing I could say. No matter what, like, don't give up. Keep that hustle. Keep that dream driving journey alive because it's going to matter and you can do it. And there are people out there rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I may never talk to you one day in your life. You may not even know me personally, but I really do honestly want people who have this desire to see something happen in their lives to be able to achieve that and to know that they can do it. So don't give up on yourself. All right, so if you love this episode, if you feel like it was inspiring, if you feel like you learned something, if you feel like some of the strategies I shared can be helpful to somebody else, please share this with a friend. Stop what you're doing right now, screenshot it, post it on your Instagram stories, tag Dreams and Drive, send the screenshot via text, via email to somebody. Tell them to listen to episode 213 of Dreams and Drive. It's going to make a big difference. And as you know, I appreciate it when you do. If you want to enter, remember, we're extending our giveaway with Miss Jessie's Miko branch. We're going to be giving away curly pudding from the Miss Jessie's line. Just go to dreamsanddrive.com/win to enter that. And you'll have until the end of this week to enter. And remember, if you want to sign up for one of our carpool slots where dream drivers can talk to me and give me feedback on the show and what they're learning and anything you want to talk about, you'll have 20 minutes and we can chat about things. Just go to dreamsanddrive.com/carpool to sign up. That's dreamsanddrive.com/carpool to sign up. Please make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can get us from Google Podcasts, any of the podcast apps. Please hit that subscribe button so that you get notifications every time we have a new episode. Episode 214 is going to be a good one. We're going to be talking with Tiana Robinson. She is a marketing director turned makeup artist turned mogul turned get your life, sis. Get these coins. All right. She helps makeup artists go from being broke to being paid and to really figure out the strategy behind their businesses. And she has a lot of things that she's going to talk about. She's going to talk about the moment for her that truly changed her life when she realized that she wasn't a mistake. That was a very powerful part of her story. So I can't wait for you guys to hear that. Keep dreaming, keep driving, and we'll chat soon. Bye, guys.